Well, hello, and how are you doing this evening? I'm very mellow tonight, which I think is probably for the best. Let's try something here for fun. There, you have me in 4. How's that? As I adjust my technology, I like to have a little bit of fun with it. Go back to just a single camera shot. So, how is everybody feeling this evening? I'm not fully decided. It's been a rough couple of days for me. Let me take these off. The glare is annoying. It's been a rough couple of days for me. Going through some stuff. You know how that happens sometimes. And, yeah. It can be difficult. Whoa. I'm trying to adjust things here. There we go. So I'm currently going through a strange episode. Yesterday it was a combination of anxiety and depression, which is weird when they both hit you at the same time. It's not pleasant, and you gotta learn to deal with it, which is never fun. But deal with it I shall. I had a few hours yesterday where it was just a feeling of absolute emptiness, loneliness, despair, worthlessness. And I know that none of it is real. I know that all of it is quite literally in my head, because that is what mental health is. But it still can mess with you, despite the medication, despite the tools that I have on learning on how to deal with these things, despite the ability to recognize what's going on when it's going on, and having exercises I can use to try and bring myself to a calm state of mind and a sense of peace and tranquility, I still very much suffer. And yesterday was one of those days. Now, that being said, I did get out. I went for a nice long walk in the sunshine yesterday because it was quite beautiful out. Oddly warm for this time of year. And then I went over to the pub and sat down and watched the football game. The Super Bowl. It was a good game. It was entertaining. Had some nachos and a couple of non-alcoholic beer. And it was good. It was nice to be out of the house for a bit, and it took me a little while to get into a headspace where I could just sit and talk to the bartender for a bit, just to, clear my mind and get it off of the things that I was thinking. Think about anything but those terrible thoughts, right? And, yeah. It's weird. They just pop up at the strangest random times, and it's not... in the past I could point to, well, I'm not getting enough sleep, or I've been, working too much, not exercising enough, not eating right, drinking too much beer. And I've cut the beer down to 0 for the most part. I augmented my diet, and I've noticed lately I've been craving chocolate, which is strange because I'm not somebody who eats sweets. So I think that might be, as my buddy Douglas suggested this morning, it might have to Might have to do with the lack of carbohydrates because I'm not drinking beer, and beer is a source of carbs. So maybe because I'm not getting any sugar at all in my diet for the most part, maybe that's why I'm craving sweets, perhaps. Could very well be. I don't know, but I know that eating bags of chocolate is not good for you, so I won't do it. But my goodness, am I ever craving it right now? Yeah, it's true, Jen. Alcohol is a depressant and chocolate is a stimulant, but I'm craving, like, for some reason I want to have a Mr. Big. I have no idea why. A Mr. Big or Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. I could kill for them right now. Well, not actually do that, of course, but, and that's not, that's low in the cocoa. Cocoa. So if you're going to eat chocolate when you're craving it, you should have like a dark chocolate with 70% cocoa. Coca is a different thing altogether. That's a coca leaf. That's a completely different stimulant, one that I don't partake in. But yeah, craving chocolate. I have, maybe it is, just a lack of sugar in my diet because I'm not really, eating a lot of carbs. I don't know. The Reese's Peanut Butter Cups are satisfying. What I have been eating is a lot of toast and jam lately. I don't know why. It's very strange. So I sit here in my office chair in my recording space. I want to finish my isolation booth. I actually have built one. I just need to finish the framework. I've got all the insulation, sound absorption up, and I just need to finish the framework so I can start to use it to record some things like this, because I am getting a little bit of ambient room noise in the background that I don't care for. I would prefer to have this space as quiet as possible. You can probably hear my computer fans blowing from time to time, which I'm not a fan of. Yeah, I know that was an unintentional pun. I realized it as I was saying it. So yeah, the last couple of days have been kind of rough. Saturday I found I was so physically tired. I wake up at 5, crawl out of bed at 6 after reading for a little bit, make some coffee and have some eggs and toast and put on some music and work through my jazz playlist and get that organized, get ready to record a show. And then I sat down to try and record, and I sat here and I fired up everything, and I'm like, I don't have the energy to do this right now. I need to go lie down and take a nap at 9 a.m. on a Saturday. So I did for about 45 minutes, then got up and stumbled around for a bit. And yeah, I didn't leave the house till around 5 p.m. when I just needed to get out. I was just so physically tired. Yeah, I understand that, Jen. And seasonal affective disorder is a very real thing. I do have a light that does help a great deal, but I don't remember to use it, which is odd. What I need to do is put it in my calendar so that when my alarm goes off, it will remind me to turn that light on for, 10 or 15 minutes. Just sit in front of it while I'm reading before I get out of bed. I think that would be probably a good idea. And it was sunny Saturday and Sunday, and that's the most sun I think we've got in the last 2 months. Oh, wow. Mikhail. Wow, McDonald's. Yeah, I do occasionally crave the Big Mac. I might have it 4 times a year. I always regret it after each time I eat it. I always regret it because I know that my body will make me pay for that terrible, terrible idea. But it is satisfying while you're eating it, you know. And I guess you can just take from that what you will. It's, you know, life is short, and every now and then you have to eat the piece of cake, as the saying goes. So, yeah. When you gotta do it, you gotta do it. And if it's what gets you through, it's what gets you through, you know. You're here for another day. Every day above ground is a good day. Oh my goodness, yeah, I've no doubt you're paying for it. The fast food hangover. You know, the worst time I find to watch television, I don't really watch television, I just have streaming services. And the only time I really watch television is when I'm watching sports. That's the only time I watch broadcast TV. And what I've noticed on Sunday evenings is that, less so on Saturday evenings, but on Sunday evenings, especially if I'm watching NFL football, you know, and I usually watch Canadian football, but when the season ends, I start to watch the NFL. And I've noticed that on Sunday evenings, every ad is for either a drug, an insurance program, or fast food. That's on the American channels like CBS or NBC or ABC or Fox or whichever one carries the football games. I also watch it on the CTV, so we'll get a lot of more local ads, but every now and then I'll flick it over just to see, you know, what my American cousins are seeing. And sure enough, it's a health insurance ad or a drug or a fast food ad. Occasionally there'll be a vehicle advertised in there somewhere, but usually it's those three, which I think is just weird. I guess captive audience, and it's just how it goes. So you'd be watching this, and every third ad is like a McBurger or a pizza or something like that. And thankfully, I've already had dinner, so, you know, I'm not affected by it. But it's like, my goodness, this is just insidious, or at least I think it is anyway. I think it's insidious because it's feeding into people's addictions. You know, they can't advertise cannabis on television in Canada, even though, you know, it's a legal product. I think largely because it is heavily related to smoking, right? They haven't had television advertising for cigarettes since 1970. So I think that's probably why cannabis isn't advertised on television, but it is advertised online a lot. It makes one wonder, you know, if they went with strictly the edibles, would they advertise that product on television? I don't know. I did notice that a lot of the public companies that cultivate the product have started laying people off and closing plants, and it seems that the cannabis gold rush that people thought it was going to be never really occurred. So it turns out a fair bit of product is still sold illicitly, I'm told. I don't partake because I'm allergic to it, so, yeah. Yes, you do need to. Addiction is good for business, Mikhail, because it is repeat customers, right? And repeat customers are, well, they're very good for business, aren't they? Mm-hmm. 1 second. Had to clear my throat. I don't want to do that in your ears. It would definitely take away from the calming effect we're trying to have here, right? So, yeah, just trying to get through the day. And, you know, Mondays I work from home, and I was actually thankful for it because I was pretty tired when I woke up this morning. And I thought, well, I could go into the office if I needed to get out of the house, but I knew it wasn't going to be terribly busy for me today, and I thought, well, you know what, the next 3 days are going to be incredibly busy, so I'll just work from home as I'm allowed to. And yeah, it can make for a long day though, because you're isolated. I'm home alone, and I think that can add to the mental health issues, because as the day marches on, I'll watch Dean's show and join the chat for a bit as a form of interactivity, because I've been, staring at a computer screen all day and haven't had anybody to talk to. So as a result, I find it can really zap your energy, because I'm somebody who gets my energy from other people. So let me just adjust this here. Yeah, there we go. That's a little better. I had to sit up a bit because my back was hurting. Yeah, I get my energy from other people, so when I'm isolated for a long time frame, I get very tired. And I think maybe what I should have done Saturday morning was go to the local diner for breakfast, just to be amongst people. Probably would have given me some energy. But instead I was effectively just a zombie. And yeah, it made for, well, not a very fun day, to be honest with you. It was kind of a bummer. But that's okay. I mean, that happens sometimes, I made it through the day. I'm still here, still alive and kicking. So, how terrible was that, right? So it wasn't a good day. That's okay. Today's better. Today's better because I'm here and I feel a little bit better. Let me just adjust the image here. Let me know if that's a little bit better. It is quite dark in this room, isn't it? I'm trying to set a particular mood, but it's difficult to tell sometimes because my monitors are due for an upgrade. They don't have the best possible contrast to them. Oh, cool. Good for you, Luna's Closet. I'd love to see Paramore live. I think Haley's amazing, and I enjoy that band a great deal. One second. I really have a great deal of admiration for Haley. She's a good person, great entertainer and a good singer, but moreover, I just find that she goes out of her way to lift people up, and that I think is commendable. I always trying to do the same myself. I don't know if I ever succeed at it truly, but I'll do my best to try and lift everybody up, So what is it like in your part of the world? It's unbelievably warm here for this time of the year, in Canada's capital of Ottawa. It's over a year since the Battle of Billings Bridge. If you aren't from here, you would have no idea what I'm talking about. It was a battle in name only, because there were no fisticuffs, there was no weapons used. It was just stopping a horde of ignorance from parading their ignorance in my neighborhood when, adding to the parade, I should say, because we were surrounded by it. But yeah, anyway, that's as political as I'll get on this program. I'm wondering if maybe because of that anniversary, because all of that happened a year ago, it may be adding to the mental health issues that I'm currently experiencing, because it was a rather terrible time for those of us who lived through it. And many of you were introduced to me because, well, it was not through this, that's for sure, and I was loud and yelling, which I guess I'm pretty good at that. So 40 degrees Fahrenheit, I don't know what that would be Celsius. 10, I think. Something like that. I'd have to check. I don't recall. I know that I used to be pretty good at, double it and add 30, and it gives you approximately up to about 75 degrees, and after that it's all out of whack. Let's see what it says here. It's 4 degrees Celsius. It's 4.5 degrees Celsius. So 40 degrees Fahrenheit is 4 degrees Celsius. So there's, that'll give you an idea. Yeah, about 4 degrees. So 70 degrees Fahrenheit is 21 degrees Celsius. So you double it and add 30. So 42 and 30 is 72. So 21 gives you, pretty close to, like I said, within a couple of degrees. It's fairly accurate. I know that minus 18 is 0, and I think 0 is 30. So there you go. Haven't used that system of measurement in decades, so I learned it in the 70s, but we transitioned to the metric system in 1976, so just as I was beginning to learn it, everything changed. Because 76, I was in 3rd grade. Yeah, 3rd grade. 77, moved to Newfoundland. I was entering into the 4th grade, so yeah, 76, I was in the 3rd grade. Anyway, that's, how long ago was that? I used to say, well, that's 45 years ago. No, it's more than that. 47 years ago, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, Celsius, the metric system I find is just a simpler, easier to use system, because everything is in a unit of 10 for the most part. But anyway, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. We'll be there all night. That's not really dealing with mental health issues, which is, the whole purpose of this is to talk about it, openly discuss how we're feeling. And yeah, it's been a rough few days for me, but I am still here. I am still breathing, and every day above ground is a good day. Even on the bad days, you're above ground. You're not pushing up daisies. You're doing pretty good. It's just trying to get through the time, and I think the worst aspect is when the time just feels, a minute feels like a second, feels like a minute feels like an hour, and an hour feels like a day. And then, you're trying to get your errands run and your chores done and your groceries done and your laundry done, and you have very little energy, and then you have other commitments that you need to attend to, which I was able to meet most of them, so that wasn't too bad, all things considered. But Saturday was, Saturday was hard. Yesterday wasn't great. Saturday was more depressed, and Sunday was general anxiety disorder. So, yeah, that's where my head was. So, I can only provide you with 30 minutes this evening because I have another commitment I need to attend to after this. But I will be here every Monday at 9 p.m. I will continue to do this, and I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me this evening, as it gives me a chance to talk about what I'm going through, and those of you who join in the chat can always relate, I think, to a certain degree with one another, and sometimes with the silly things I have to say. And I try my best to help however I can, and I mean, this is really the only way I can do it, because I don't have the money to pour into mental health facilities, right? So, and our government certainly isn't doing a very good job of it here in the province of Ontario, but I've got a whole different show to talk about that, and we'll discuss some of it in the morning at 7 a.m. for those of you who like to watch that program. But this program is not about that. This program is about how we can take care of each other and lean on one another. Friday, Steve, I have a commitment to another program on Friday evenings. I do a Monday to Friday show at 7 a.m. on the True North Eager Beaver podcast, which is a political podcast for those of you who are unfamiliar with my other shows. And Friday evenings, I participate in the Casual Fridays on James D. Fiore's Blackballed podcast. I also have the jazz music show and, of course, the pop music show. But yeah, you can check those shows out. They're all available. So yeah, Monday to Friday, we do the True North Eager Beaver political podcast, where I lend my voice as a color commentator and producer. And my compadre, my partner in that program, Mr. Beaver Douglas, is he's the writer. He's the real political pundit. I'm just a guy with a deep voice and a couple of opinions. But yeah, if you want to check that out, feel free. And I think Mondays, the reason I decided to do this on Monday, because I had been trying to do these every 5 days, and I realized that I wasn't capable. Oh, thank you, Luna. I wasn't capable of every 5 days because I had too much going on. And I thought, you know what? On Blue Monday this year, I thought I would dedicate some time to that, and thinking to myself, you know what? Why don't I just do it every Monday at 9 p.m.? That way, we have a set time when we can all get together and discuss how we're feeling. And some days I'm going to be on top of the world, and I might not be able to add to the conversation from the aspect of how to deal with one's pain and suffering. And other days I'm like today, where I'm very melancholy, and I can just tell you what I was going through, and hopefully it doesn't last for too long, you know. But that's just how it goes sometimes. So, my friends, I thank each and every one of you for joining me this evening. And I really do appreciate you all coming in and joining the chat and spreading the word. I do have that little subscribe button right about there. Yeah, it should be right around there somewhere. If you want to hit that or share it, I appreciate that. It helps with the metrics, and the metrics help with, well, basically I'm just trying to cover costs, is what it boils down to. Bandwidth costs, equipment costs, software. That nobody sells software anymore. Have you noticed that? Everything is a subscription service now. Anyway, I am here to give you this for free, and I hope it helps you. I hope it helps you to find some maybe methods to improve upon your personal mental health journey. I hope it helps you to find some peace and relaxation. And please feel free to share it with anybody you think that could benefit from something like this. I don't know how it works, but I've had people tell me that this has been helpful to them, so I'll continue to do it. And I thank you. I thank you for joining me. I thank you for taking the time to be here this evening. And with that, I shall bid you adieu. Take care, my friends. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.